All right, so we're going to get started. I know people will start to join us as we go through this, but good afternoon, everyone. I am David Oyatamari of Ecclesia Capital. You're going to be the moderator today on the Chamber of Commerce's Restaurant Possible webinar, how Hawaii's restaurants are pivoting during the COVID pandemic. I'm really hopeful that since it's 1 o'clock, all of you coming from a really good meal and are in a good mood today. So I'm really excited to share with you what we have in store for the next hour. And I wanted to introduce my distinguished panelists here this afternoon, people that in many ways need no introduction, but I will do so just to get us started. So the first panelist is MARC NEZU. MARC he's a vice president, director of operations at G-Land and Group Hawaii. And they are the hospitality company that owns Hai's Steakhouse, the iconic Hai's, La Vie Kiora, and the Ritz-Carlton residence in Waikiki Beach. MARC was born into a family of restaurateurs, and over the past 25 years, worked in kitchens and cultivated great relationships with guests who he affectionately calls his extended family. Born and raised on Oahu, and a graduate of the best high school on the island, Iolani, and a graduate of the University of Hawaii. He developed his philosophies of hospitality, of bridging East and West, combined with the spirit of aloha to generate that magic. And as many of you know, his restaurants there, the iconic Hai's is no exception, creating a magical experience for all. So thanks, MARC, for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me, David.
We have Jeremy SHIGKANE from M by Chef Mauro, and Jeremy, executive chef, Chef Mauro, M by Chef Mauro, and he has experience in some really, really big places. I hope I don't butcher some names here, Jeremy, but Boule in New York City, Cafe Gray, Ritz-Carlton, Half Moon Bay, really fancy places. Of course, he's been John's Island Club in Florida, Hawthorne Lane in San Francisco. He opened the bar at the museum, at MoMA, which is quite impressive. And also was at Hoku's at the Kahala Hotel Resort, Chef Chai's, and the Royal Hawaiian Resort, all before now by Chef Mauro. Welcome, Jeremy, to the panel.
Hi, thank you.
And then we have Roy Yamaguchi, our legendary Chef Roy, who's been sort of an icon in the Hawaii restaurant scene for decades here. But of course, he is the founder of Roy's Worldwide, Roy's Beach House, Eating House 1849, Humble Market Kitchen, that is not a typo, there's an I in kitchen, and Roy's Go-In Dining and Bar. He's, of course, the recipient of the James Beard Best Pacific Northwest Chef Award in '93, California Chef of the Year, and Go Milo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that perfectly well in my German. Top 50 cuisines in America, Fine Dining Hall of Fame, John Heckathorn Dining Excellence Award. It's hard to imagine, but Chef Roy opened the Hawaii Kai Roy's, the first one in 1988. It's quite amazing. He's had a great run there, and it continues. He's hosted 6 seasons. He's also a television star in PBS series Hawaii Cooks with Roy Yamaguchi, which was broadcast on more than 300 stations in all 50 states in over 60 countries. He's also been on Food Network's My Country, My Kitchen, Bravo Channel's Top Chef Masters, Iron Chef Asian, the Culinary Institute of America Board of Trustees, also the Swiss-based MSC Cruises Asian Market Kitchen, that pretty high-end cruise there, and co-founder of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. Welcome, Chef Roy.
Thanks, David.
So we're really excited to get started, and I thought I'd just give a quick overview of what's been happening in the restaurant industry abroad in Hawaii, and then we'll get right into our panelists who have done some really very innovative, interesting things that I think are going to help all of us, whether you're in the restaurant business or not. So just for starters, this is from the Hawaii Restaurant Association in 19. This is 2018 data. There are 33,665 eating and drinking places in Hawaii who employ close to 100,000 people, which is quite amazing. And this is also important. For every dollar that was spent in our restaurants or eating and drinking places, $1.53 to $1.82 went right back into the economy. So you want to talk about how important the restaurant industry is, and for Hawaii, you're looking at these by the numbers right here will tell you the story. Now, of course, when COVID happened, no industry was hit as hard as the restaurant industry. It got rocked. And when you look at some of the numbers from McKinsey, this is what we see, that in densely populated states, the highest traffic declines hit a lot of the restaurants, and in particular Hawaii, just next to Connecticut. Restaurants in Hawaii were the hardest hit by the traffic declines as a result of COVID. This is from February to mid-April. And certainly it started to bounce back since we reopened a little bit. We also see that the type of restaurants that were disproportionately hit were the fine dining ones, right? So the pizzas and the QSRs for a good portion of the time now, they've bounced back. So, that makes sense. They were just quick delivery in many cases. Talking to some of the drive-through operators, they did just fine. But of course, the fine dining ones where the experiences where you're dining in, kind of hard to operate when you're shut down. So that was a really big impact. The takeout delivery mix certainly have flipped considerably. The level of e-commerce maturity of restaurants was a huge, huge factor. The location, you'll see that obviously if you're in a residential type of location, fared a lot better than if you're in a tourist-centric location, right? If your restaurant is like in the middle of a hotel, let's say, especially on a neighbor island, wow, that's a challenging thing to be in. Also, if your business was primarily workday lunches, you took a pretty big hit. But there's been a couple of bright spots. I think I've mentioned before in some other webinars. I talked to some friends who are in the merchant processing business. These are the folks who actually take in your credit cards. I would ask them what businesses are doing better post-COVID compared to pre-COVID, and the poke bowl and the Korean barbecues are doing better. And so our hypothesis was that poke bowls are affordable luxuries, right? You can't afford maybe the sushi anymore, the $25 ahi per pound, but you can afford the $12 poke bowl. And then the Korean barbecue shops, why, right now you can feed a family of 4 with 1 plate or 2 plates, so I think they're kind of doing pretty well. And then no industry, I would say, has probably done more in innovation than restaurants. They're appealing in residential neighborhoods. They're broadening the vision of what business that they're in. And you're going to see some of that today with our panelists. And there's some common themes that I wanted to share with all of us today before we dive in. And the themes are, right now restaurateurs are unbundling the experience, right? The traditional experience is you dine in and you get the menu, you order, and it arrives, and then you dine and then you pay. It's all kind of scripted and orchestrated a certain way. Well, now restaurants are starting to think about how does that unbundle and how do they innovate at each step of that process. There's a lot of meal kits, order ahead, takeout, curbside, delivery, e-commerce websites are becoming now critical. Social media is also been critical. Just the whole dine-in layout format is changing. Outdoor dining is becoming more important. Faster and safer pickup and delivery, weekly menus, and leading with value and providing comfort food for people, especially now. Many restaurants offering groceries and they're bundling products as well. And then in some cases, repricing to show that value. So a lot of this innovation is happening in the business. And so we are so fortunate to have really 3 innovators here with us this afternoon. And so we're going to dive right in. Feel free to start shooting your questions via the Q&A, and we'll try to get to them as soon as we can. So let's just start off. My first question, we'll go to Chef Roy. So we're just going to start with talking about everyone's innovation and pivot story. So Chef, would you share with us some of the things that Roy's and your companies have been doing to pivot during the pandemic?
Well, first of all, thanks, David, and to Gina for the opportunity to be on along with the chamber. And I'd like to also thank the frontline workers and all the first responders for keeping us safe and, letting us continue to do what we do on a daily basis. So that's really important. When the mandate first started, I mean, or announced, that's where, it all started, because we had to act and react differently at different locations, right? Because as you mentioned before, we have restaurants that are in residential neighborhoods. We have restaurants that are in hotels. We have restaurants that are in so-called tourist areas. So depending on which restaurants, we talk about, we had to kind of do things differently. So naturally, inside of a hotel, we had to pretty much cease operations until further notice. And then some of the other operations, whether it be in neighborhoods or in a tourist area, we had to try to pivot and see what's going to work. So naturally, we went to takeout because, we felt that that's something that, we can, build on. So, our thought was from the very, very beginning was, how can we get our name? How can we get our product out there in front of people? And, we decided very early on that social media would be, the platform that we would use to get the information that we want to get out and to let people know what we're doing in front of them. So depending on the locations, some did well and some just didn't work. So naturally in Waikiki, it didn't work, but in neighborhoods like Hawai'i, where we, deliver to or take care of, of a residential, guest, we saw a lot of movement. So we decided to really concentrate on those with one type of takeout. And then the others, we try to see whether it would work out also. And if it didn't, we just ended up temporarily closing those also. So at the end of the day, we ended up with 4 out of 10 in Hawaii that we pivoted towards takeout. And depending on the location and depending on what we thought would work, we did a lot of different things, right? Because, we have a menu that we really wanted to showcase, but at the same time, meaning in the future, we would have to reopen again for in-house dining. And we had to make sure that we didn't want to discount our food, but we wanted to give a lot of value to what we do. And we wanted to make sure that there's things that we put on the to take out that would be different from what we normally do, but at the same time there were things that people wanted from us, which are the classics. And then we said, hey, listen, at the end of the day, there's family that needs to eat, so let's pivot to also do family takeout. So there were different types of to-go that we leaned towards depending on the day of the week. And of course, the weekends were more of a family pack. So that was one of the first things we did.
That's interesting. So it sounds like did you have a different menu by each location? Each location has slightly different menu?
Well, in the very beginning, we didn't, but as we moved along, we started to create different menus, because you have to understand that, depending on the location, there's different needs that people have. So we try to conform to that, and to make that a very, first thing that we did was to kind of tailor our to-go depending on which location we wanted to reach to.
Gotcha. That's very interesting. So by geographic location, but also it sounds by even day of the week. So it's
yeah, exactly.
Right?
And one of the first things that we did was we had to create a wow factor, and we had to get our message out to the people out there. So one of the first things we did, keeping in mind that we didn't want to be stuck in that discounting mode or in that realm, but yet leading towards giving value. The first thing we did was, hey, let's give a wow factor, and we decided to do a 20 ribs, or our classic Szechuan baby back ribs, 20 of them for $20, which is a loss, which is basically a lost cause. But we want to do it because we want to give that wow factor, and more importantly, we wanted to give back to the community, We wanted to be a part of the community. So that was our first push to get our name out there to start this to go program going.
That'll do it. 20
we
chefs
already left
for
before we
20
left.
bucks.
20 for 20 years, you can't do it every day.
I might have bought 10 of those, 10 sets or something. That's terrific. Okay, so let's go to, Chef Jeremy. So what are some of the things that you did when COVID hit, and what are some of the pivots that you're involved in?
So for us, we're a fine dining restaurant. We're only a course menu. And we're actually gonna do like a backdoor lunch just for like friends and family before everything hit. So we had a few to use some of the same products that we use, just a little bit more affordable. So we used to do like sandwiches in the beginning, and then everything hit in March, and we had to totally rearrange. We were doing to-goes in the beginning. We did a 3-course to-go, like salad, entree, dessert, just because that's what we're set up to do. We're set up to do like a course menu. A la carte for us is a little bit difficult, but so we did a 3-course to-go, and just the format to go was difficult to get the containers, how to pack, how many containers you would need per person, how it travels. That was a big one for us. We do e-commerce now, so we're selling our sauce, bread online. We had to put that up pretty quick on the website. We had to get a new website. That was fun. So we're basically, throughout all this, we're building a brand. What I'm trying to do is separate the brand from fine dining. So Chef Malvro would be our our first tier, our highest end. And then the M by Chef Malvro would be like a bistro style. And we now have a brasserie, M brasserie. So that would be like our meal kits, prepared foods and whatnot. We've been trying to pretty much rebrand and survive at the same time. It's a lot.
Yeah, no, but it's interesting because, when you said you were almost exclusively full course meal, the experience is all 100% dine-in, and then how you had to pivot and basically start with sandwiches and try to change that.
And so to bring your experience home to you in a to-go box was a nice challenge. Like what we had to do was see how it would travel, how to plate it so that the guests would either eat it on a plate and they would replate it themselves, or they would just heat it up in the to-go container. What container we would use, how many containers, so that it's not confusing. And pretty much we built our menu so that you wouldn't need instructions for it. You just take it home, reheat it, or you just eat it as is, and how it would travel like that. And we had to do that was to bring your experience, to have that feel of Chef Malvro. Chef Roy said it once, where you should be able to look at your plate, your meal, or your bag or anything, and you should be able to feel that experience. Like you should know where you are, basically, and that's what we're trying to provide. As simple with whatever we had, we had to do with what we had, because at one point the to-go containers were out, or like the meat was running short, and all these things, plus with the staff that we had. So we had to, we pretty much do everything now. Like we do we do e-commerce, so we sell our stuff. We do prepared foods cold. We do hot food. We used to do lunches, but now we changed to just cold lunches, reheat only. And we also do dine-in now, which is a la carte setting. That was a little different. But
So you went away from the full course dine-in. It's all a la carte.
yeah, as you said before, the fine dining really got hit hard, or just really dining in general inside. Yeah. And we had to, throughout this whole thing, we always we talk constantly what's going to happen next, what happens if this, like our containers are made to fit the bag, and I didn't want so many containers because everybody was buying up the containers, and I didn't want so much trash. So they're a reusable container, you know, it's microwavable, but you know, you can reuse it, and we still have some of the containers from a while ago.
Right. Gotcha. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's switch to Mark. What's been going on with you? I mean, you got 3 different restaurants to worry about, but what happened? And how did you folks deal with the pivot?
Well, when the shutdown first came down in March, it happened so suddenly, and so for us, it was a matter of survival right off the bat. Sitting on inventory, as you can imagine, a restaurant like Hawai'i's, with our steak program and our aging program on those things, and it started actually with our employees wanting to support us and saying, hey, let us purchase some of the steaks and seafood that we have in inventory. And so that was the birth of the Hawai'i's Butcher Shop and Market concept. And so, we had to quickly make the decision to go the route of takeout early on in the pandemic. And we quickly found out that it was the large format, prime rib dinners, steak dinners that were most in demand by our guests. And we've continued to do takeout a la carte, but, again, it was these larger formats that we found most success with, which evolved into the prime box that we currently do. And the idea is, being able to feed a family of 4 throughout the course of the week, and giving them the variety and the quality that hopefully, they've come to expect from dining in one of our restaurants. I think Chef Roy said at the beginning, we quickly found out that with the abrupt closure of Waikiki to the visitors, our hotel restaurants, certainly were affected the most. So we decided early on to consolidate, our resources into Hawai'i's takeout operations. And we're fortunate, this month we get to celebrate 44 years in business at Hawai'i. So, we've had so much support, the Kamainas, the locals that have supported us for 40 plus years, really came out, and just wanted to help in any way they can, while also, being able to enjoy the food they've gotten used to. And so, we very much pride ourselves, or at least, we speak to our employees always about the experience of dining, not just the food itself or the service, but the entire experience, and how that could translate to takeout was, it's a huge challenge. So, how we interact over the phone, how we package the food, how we deliver the food, whether that's out to the curb or even through delivery services, really thinking and doing what we can to extend that experience that people have come to enjoy in the restaurants.
That goes back to some of the trends we're seeing around the unbundling, right? It's like looking at the customer experience at each step along the way. Whereas it used to be all in the box, right? Like, come to the restaurant and we'll take care of you. Now it's, oh no, there's the delivery aspect, there's the curbside pickup aspect, there's like the tray, what it comes in aspect of it. So super interesting. So interesting, Mark. So when people typically go to Hawai'i's, let's say, as an example, this isn't typically a place I would imagine where people are just kind of on the spur of the moment. Hey, let's go to Hawai'i's tonight. It's usually an occasion, I would think. So are you seeing that the what's happening today, the takeout, is that also following? Is this an occasion people are taking out for, or what's happening? Like, what is it different now? What the purpose?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. We've started an on-demand takeout operation about a month ago, and we've seen a lot of demand for that. And again, we couldn't be more appreciative of that support. We are in Waikiki, which is a bit of a trek for many of our locals.
Oh.
Time guests do this big birthday spread for his son, and order quite a bit of food from us. And we do have noticed people planning special occasions, whether it's a birthday, anniversary, the things that they used to come to the restaurants for, order and plan their takeout experience around those types of events. Yeah, many are still, they've come back since we reopened, but there's certainly a segment of the community that's still, for whatever reasons, not ready to dine out yet. And so they've planned their special takeout, I guess we can say, around those events. Interesting.
If you guys ever figure out how to do a Bananas Foster takeout, let me know. So going, switch gears a little bit. So, I think some of it is, okay, so you innovated, you pivoted, you're open, but how do you let the world know? And so Chef Roy, I know you had alluded to this a little bit, but could you tell us, all of you too, but what did you guys do in social media? Well, what did you learn? What was effective during this time?
Well, for us, early on, we made a decision to double down on social media. If anywhere we were going to spend money, it was, of course, to getting a lot of PPE and keep making sure that our guests and our staff is safe. But other than that, for us, it was extremely important to double down on social media. The amount of capital that we were going to spend, I put it towards social media, making sure that we took, we'll make sure that we have, number one, an idea and a great idea of what we thought would sell at different locations. And we actually spent the time to take a lot of pictures of the food so that we can have those in our social media ad campaign. And we wanted to make sure that we always give a wow factor and in the ad that we ran every day. And we, worked on whether we do it at noon every day, and then we moved it around to see whether we can get more traction at different times. So we went through that in the very, very beginning, trying to see what works, what doesn't work, what works better, and went through different types of specials that we could run on a day-to-day basis to see what has more traction than others. So, in a nutshell, we kind of, went through the process of, if someone opened their the ad from us on a computer rather than on their mobile devices, how would it come out? So those are the things that we really worked on and try to straighten those things out. And at the same time, coming up with different ideas on a weekly basis to see which ideas had more traction than others.
So, well, what are some of the things you learned? Like, is there a particular time of day that you get a better response, or?
Well, if you do it for cheap, everybody will come. No, just kidding.
So it doesn't matter what time of day, just make it 20 ribs for $20, they will come.
Well, we try so many different things, and we found out that at the end of the day, that people come to your site or people want to order from you. At the end of the day, among everything that you do, people do come to you because they want you, meaning that they have a affinity of love towards your operation, your restaurant, your food, the people that work for you, and all of those things really play a big part in the decisions of how people order. And so at the end of the day, we're able to, like guys, been around for a long time. So, we have a lot of, guests that are friends, and again, friendship never ends, and they continue to support you in every way possible. And that's the kind of loyalty that we've built with our guests throughout the years. So they were there to support us, and we did whatever we can and still do to create that hospitality feeling in that box.
Nice, nice. How about either Chef Jeremy or Mark? Well, what have you guys done in the social media space?
Well, for us, Instagram was our only outlet to get word out. I mean, nothing was running, and it's free. There's no money involved in that, so we had to put our stuff out. And for us, we're basically rebranding now, because Chef Mavro is known for high-end but special occasion. It's not like an everyday place. You don't just go there on a Saturday just for fun. Like, you go there for a birthday, anniversary, and to get away from that for the to-go. I mean, we've got a few birthdays and anniversaries for the to-go as well, but to rebrand was difficult, and Instagram was the only way to get out to people, to reach people, to say, we're not a tasting menu, like high-end tasting menu. It's more affordable gourmet is what we call it.
How did you do that? How did you rebrand M from Chef Mavro, to go versus tasting menu high end? How did you?
So to rebrand, what I tried to do was keep the food in line with the brand. Some of the same dishes, some of the older dishes, to simplify it a little bit for the to-go container. Instead of champagne and caviar, you can't eat that anymore. Not in a to-go container or take home. It's a little difficult. But we still serve the same fish, or we still treat it the same way. Lamb, chicken, they're the same product. They're still treated the same. We just had to adjust to do it a little different for our technique. And at each tier, so we have the Chef Mavro brand, which is the highest one, the M by Chef Mavro, and the Brasserie. We would do it a little different. So the Brasserie, we build like how I would serve family meal, basically. So we take everything, and it's all the stuff that we eat at family meal. The bistro is what we were doing at like a takeout, a little bit more casual, but still the lamb that we serve with a chicken with foie gras sauce or something like that. Something that is a little bit more affordable, that you could eat not every day, but more so than just a special occasion. For us to rebrand like that was on social media was our only platform, basically, to do it.
Right. I think that's really smart, because we talk about pivoting as in reaching new markets. New markets can be geographic, but it can also be customer segment. And by rebranding into 3 segments, essentially that's what you're doing, which I think is really smart, and it expands your addressable market, right? So
yes.
It's not just the high-end tasting menu folks who are coming in for that dine-in experience, but it can be the Brasserie, the M by Chef Mavro. It's really interesting.
Yeah, so we're trying to reach each demographic, and we have like basically 3 different demographics within the restaurant itself.
Yeah. I think the folks in Munich, Germany at BMW would agree with you. That's why now they have 8 different types of BMWs. It used to be just the 3, the 5, the 7, or whatever. And now it's like the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. So there's something there. Economists would say walking down the demand curve, Mark, tell us a little bit about what's been going on with you folks on social media and marketing, and how you drumming up the interest.
Sure. So we've had to pivot, all of our marketing platforms to encompass the takeout or the at-home segment of our business, or the expansion of, if you take Highs and Highs evolving into the prime butcher shop and market. But certainly social media is the one that, we've put probably the most focus into, as well as other online resources or email marketing. One thing, throughout this pandemic and throughout how the industry has changed is that it's constantly evolving, month over month. So, the fastest way that we can get that information out is through social media. Whether, that's new items that we're offering, new services, what have you. So what's changed is it's become gone into overdrive, I guess you could say, from what that segment of marketing used to look like pre-COVID to what has transpired over the past 8 months now. And that's capturing content, photo shoot, and just getting that information out as quickly as possible. Even hours of operation, the different rules and restrictions, and all the changes and how to navigate those changes. Social media has allowed us that platform to do that, to get that information out quickly to our customers.
Is social media for all of you your number one channel right now, would you say?
Yes.
Is that true? Number
Yes,
one.
for us, yes.
So if social media is number one, I know, Chef Jeremy, you talked about Instagram, but for Mark and Chef Roy, what is is it spread evenly across all of them, or do you have one that's your primary as well?
Well, for us, number one, the most important, whether it be social media, but it's the content that we made. So the content was extremely important to us. So other than that, working with our own email list was extremely important. And then to put it on, whether it be Facebook or whether it be Instagram or whether it be, the other platforms, not very much Twitter or anything, but, being able to kind of piggyback on some of those outlets, platforms were important. I think what was really important was just to get our message across to, number one, our email list, which was extremely and crucially important.
Yeah, I think we're in the same boat. Our email list is probably our most important avenue to get that information out. But certainly, we've done our best to get that message out through Instagram and Facebook. And our marketing director, I know she's on this call, but she's been working overtime to make sure that all that is the message needs to continue to get out to people as to what is going on, what's changing, what new offerings, to drive that engagement. And we found that those avenues have been most effective for us.
I have a colleague I work with, Scott Kobayashi at Yumi Social, and he's a social media expert guy. And he would say that. He's like, Dave, the number one rule is social media is social. And so the content library, like you guys are talking about, and making sure it's fresh, it's relevant, keep people engaged is super critical. And it sounds like all of you are doing exactly that. I want to switch gears a little bit. So I get Facebook, Instagram, social media, content library, that all makes sense, your email lists. Now switch gears a little bit. What about, could you give me a sense for what you've learned so far in terms of, what are people looking for? If you look at the current pandemic, post-pandemic customer, what are they buying that's different before COVID? What are you guys learning about stuff like that?
Well, I can go first. Now that we're open for dine-in service, I think safety, security, and confidence that we're doing the right thing, I think it's extremely, extremely important.
Sure.
I think that people are making a lot of their internal decisions on where to go based on, a lot of different reasons, but I think a lot of reasons could be for us would be based on do they feel secure coming to us? Do they feel that we're doing the right thing, making sure that we're looking after them? And that's, so again, that's the first thing that I worked on was, hey, listen, how can we make our restaurants safer? Restaurants in general spend a lot of money on disinfecting their restaurants, their, all the different things that they do to keep their staff and their guests safe. So, restaurants are to me are safe to go there. I mean, nothing is guaranteed,
Mhm.
you know, but we do our best, and Jeremy, Mark, I'm sure do the same. So we try to make sure that we get the message across that, hey, listen, at the end of the day, restaurants in general do a great job, and we're doing as much or even more to make sure that we're here to protect you and do the best we can to give you a memorial experience by coming to our restaurant. And luckily we have a lot of restaurants that have a lot of outdoor dining. We really made sure that we can work with our landlords to make that a bigger program for us.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Safety. I mean, if people aren't confident, right, they're just going to stay home. But what others, Mark or Chef Jeremy, just what are you seeing people demanding, or how are they behaving differently?
No,
Sorry.
you can go, Mark. You first.
No, I think I mean, I just have to echo what Chef Roy said. I think, David, you asked in a previous chat we had, what is the difference with our industry and our relationship with our guests?
Mhm.
And that's, we have a very close, relationship based on trust and friendship, and we get to do this, which is our profession, and we get to be a part of special occasions, milestones in your family, and over the years we develop very close relationship with our customers, and based on trust, and so I think that safety and sanitation and all those things today in this day and age is certainly top of mind for us, has been from the start, but even more so now when we see travel beginning to open, and all of our restaurants, we've been so fortunate to have such strong support from the community, and just to be able to ensure not only to our customers, our employees, and our vendors, and our community that we are taking every precaution possible during this time to ensure everyone's safety and comfort, while still being able to offer that experience. In terms of what the customer demand is for takeout, I see the demand for what they're used to getting in the restaurants, level of food, or that interaction and that hospitality, whether, again, like I said, if that's through the phone or the interaction that we have with them as they're picking up their to-go items, or we're allowed to deliver those things. Some of that experience, and as we've slowly been able to reopen the dining rooms, that return to things that they're comfortable with, that they've grown to love, and the reasons they've been so supportive of us over the years.
So providing that comfort of what they expect and the experience.
Familiarity, comfort, yeah.
So Jeremy, you were gonna say something?
So for us, we do all the different things to reach different people, to for like comfort food. That would be our brasserie, like we do a shepherd's pie now. For special occasions, people still have Chef Mavro in the back of their mind, like special occasion Chef Mavro. So we try to do that and provide you food at an affordable price, still within the brand. And for the safety part, that would be our like prepared food sets. So the people that want to cook at home, or we do a CSA box. People that want to come into the restaurant, or they want to they have a certain price point that they have to meet. So we'll do that as well. For the indoor, now that we're doing, we have a pretty decent space here. So we spread everybody out. For the safety issue, we prop the doors open for the restroom. You go around the corner, so you can't really see anything. We have 2 doors. So we just propped it open. Nobody has to touch anything. We got you a pen so that you can take home if you choose when you sign the check. And our check presenter is now like a small plate that we put on there, so everything can be washed. You really have to touch nothing when you come in here.
Right.
So for the safety part, that's how we do. We did it outdoor for about a month, and then the state shut down that second time. That was a little rough, but
yeah,
we try to accommodate people like that. We're renting the tent, so we had to give it back, but we're trying to look for another tent to do outdoor dining again, to accommodate those people as well, just for pretty much everyone in our community.
A lot of it sounds like you guys are really focused on the safety, right? Having the confidence of the diner. That makes total sense. So in the takeout delivery world, I know we haven't talked about this before, but I'm curious, what is like the big seller, or is there something that surprised you, right? What's really been interesting there?
For us, what sells, what sells the most are classics. So the classics we've had on the menu for 30 years continue to sell the most. So, our baby back ribs, our misuyaki butterfish, our short ribs. I mean, we can't keep up with those items.
Right.
And of course, when we do different family packs on the weekends, of course, that also sells, because normally it's an item that can feed a family of 4, and it's priced pretty well, affordable. So, I mean, that's the kind of combinations we have.
With the classics and the kits, Chef Roy, are you getting new customers, you think, or you think mostly that's your loyal following?
Well, now that we're open for dine-in, we're starting to now get the people that want to come in for dine-in, and then we have our continued because let's make it this way. So there's 2 types of guests for us. Ones that really want to take out because, number one, maybe they're not ready to go out, but yet there's guests that we have that do takeouts because it's a little more affordable to do the takeout rather than to dine in.
Right.
So that's why, as I mentioned in the very, very beginning of this Zoom, that we really have to be careful on how we don't discount our food, but at the same time give value, but then do combinations and do things that isn't really the same as if you're dining in the restaurant, but is the same. So there's these little combinations of things that we do that may resemble something that we do in-house, but yet it's not something that you can get in-house, and you can only get it for takeout. So it's a lot of thinking that goes on along, and to kind of make these combinations work and be good for everybody.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Especially, I can imagine on that affordability, the takeout affordability segment, possibly there are people that may get more apt to go to Roy's in that regard, right? Like they're going to try it because it's affordable, it hits the right price point, whereas maybe they wouldn't go as often and dine in. It's kind of an interesting.
At the same time, we have the same crew that does both takeout and dine in. So we had to kind of figure out a system how we can utilize a lot of the products and not have to order a lot of different products. So it's just a different way of putting these combinations together and to, make it work for everyone.
Right, right. Gotcha. Mark, how about you folks? What are you seeing there?
We found most success with the family meals. And these are, for a family of 4 or 5, prime rib. I don't know who wants to spend hours cooking a prime rib at home, and we can do that for you. We've seen a great feedback on that. So, again, a full dinner spread from starter to salad to the main course and even dessert. And again, I think that's that desire to want to bring that experience home with you. And, again, we'll do the work for you. And then that's led or evolved into the Prime box that we currently offer. And that's more of a combination of proteins and side dishes where you can, it's enough food for, a week. And we've seen people, the feedback we've heard is, they're tired of cooking, or they're tired of going to the grocery store, and those kind of things. So, being able to extend that and provide quality meals for them, that would last them, throughout the week for the family. And we've seen great success with those types of larger format items.
So could you tell us a little bit about that, Mark, the Prime box? So these are uncooked meats and things. So you provide a recipe and then some of the seasonings and all that, so they can just assemble it, put it together?
Correct. Yeah, it's a combination of mostly uncooked, and everything is vac sealed. There are some cooked items where you just reheat, drop a bag in a pot of water and just cut it open and ready to eat. But yes, each item comes with instructions on how to cook the items. The prep work is done for you.
Nice.
And, a combination of 3 or 4 protein items, certainly steaks being featured quite prominently on that. But, this month we're doing a seafood boil where basically, we provide all the seasonings and the ingredients, and you can prepare that at home.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I could even see that being popular even post-COVID, just kind of have a nice meal, and, especially if someone doesn't want to do all the cooking or what have you. But so
yeah,
Chef Jeremy, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. We certainly see the demand continuing, certainly into next year, but post-COVID, we found success with the subscription. We offer these Prime boxes as a subscription for guests, 3 and 6 months. But as we approach the holidays, we're seeing a demand for those as gift items, and so if people are, they're wanting, the gifts are, more in terms of the things that they would enjoy or they would need. So yeah, we're really excited about the opportunity there with the holidays right around the corner.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. All right. And then Chef Jeremy, how about you guys? What are you seeing kind of on the takeout front? What's popular?
So for us, since we're rebranding, we're learning everything. Everything is new. We have maybe close to 90% new guests.
Wow.
Through takeout. And Instagram is it's a way to get our product out there, just to tell people that we're still here and we've changed. We're not just fine dining and high-end menus anymore. It's affordable gourmet, and we do a grocery, we do a CSA. So to reach different guests and to help within our community, we did comfort food. At one point, maybe in April or so, everybody was scared that the beef was gonna go out. So all there was from local purveyors was ground beef and ground pork. And so I was kind of stuck. And we made a shepherd's pie and a beef stroganoff. And that seems to be some of the biggest sellers for comfort food. We recently done, within the past few months, charcuterie. So we do like a chicken and foie gras pate with a fish rillette, which classically a rillette is made with meat product, pork or beef. So we do that. That's for the people that want more like a little bit more gourmet, affordable gourmet, as we call it. For our CSA box, what we do is pretty much to help all the other purveyors and the farmers. I just take what they have. We build a box around it. It's a food box. Farmers have it already, but usually it's just their produce. So I pull from whatever farmer that we can. We build a box and we present like a few recipes for you. So it's a custom box every week.
Love it.
But I give it to you at cost just to help other people. The only thing that we sell inside is our bread and our sauce. Everything else we just pull together from other people. And we've learned that those guests, they just want to cook. I mean, we've learned everything. Some people want to cook, some people don't. Some people want affordable gourmet, and some people just want something nicer than, I guess, like an average plate lunch, something a little different than the classic plate lunch. So we try to hit all that.
Love it. Love it. I love all what you guys are doing. This is great stuff. So, man, this kind of went by pretty quick. So if we can go around in the time we have, and if you could like just share maybe one piece of advice or something for the business owners and the restaurant owners and operators who are listening today and will listen as we're recording this, what's one thing that you would say to them, like, do this. This is what I've learned. This is what I really hope for your business. So why don't we, let's go around. Let's start with Jeremy and then Mark and then Chef Roy. So start with Chef Jeremy. What is that one thing you would want people to know from what you've learned through this experience?
I think for me personally, I've learned that you just have to keep going. You have to try different things. And if you stay still, you're not, I don't want to say you die, but you kind of get left behind. And for us, I would like to be one of those businesses that thrive in a recession. Some, classic businesses like GE, stuff like that. They're born in a recession and they thrive. That's what we're trying to achieve. The reason why I became an entrepreneur is not to just make the shot, like call the shots and tell people what to do or like it's my way. It's because if I want to do something and if it's not working, it's my responsibility and it's my job to change and pivot, not to just stay stagnant. I would recommend to just keep going.
Well, you exemplify that very well. Very, very well. Yeah. Mark, how about you? What is your one takeaway for folks?
First thing is, anyway, through our experience is really grounding yourself in the why of what we're doing as businesses. And, for us, it was, like Jeremy said, figuring out a way to be sustainable, to be able to come out of this on the other side, and being able to thrive through it all. And our biggest why was to be able to sustain the business so that one, we could support our employees, which we've done throughout this pandemic. Two is to be able to provide for our guests, who has been so good to Highs and all of our other ventures over the many years. And three is, is the community, how we as people in this industry are able to support each other and our community, our vendors, our farmers, our fishermen, and doing whatever it takes for us, for our business and our community, to be able to operate during this time and pivot our business operations. But the why is really important to us. And then, second is just being ready for change. We've always embraced that idea of change as certainly a challenge, but something to strive for. We don't want to be left behind, and so we have to continue to be innovative. But it hasn't proven more true than the past 8 months, where, we hear a lot of restaurants switching to a takeout model, and it sounds easy, but I think as you've heard through this discussion that everything from the way we do our marketing to the way we operate, and I think the biggest is the mentality, top to bottom, when we have a team of dedicated professionals who are used to doing things a certain way, who are very good at doing, whether that's culinary or service or hospitality, what have you, and really able to have honed their craft and built that over years and years, and on a dime having to pivot. It's incredible what I've seen Chef Roy, Chef Jeremy doing as culinarians, switching to a takeout model that is incredible. That's what the community is looking for. But I think through all aspects of the industry, everyone having to change, and I think that's the biggest message of our experience through this is we just all have to be ready to change and evolve, and things are going to get better. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but what that's going to look like, it could be quite different from what we're all used to. So just be ready for change.
Nice. Yep. And then Chef Roy.
Well, I mean, everything's been said. Chef Jeremy and Mark, I echo their thoughts. What they said is right on. The only thing I can add is just, hey, out with the old playbook and in with the new. Simple as that.
Absolutely. And that's why all three of you are on this panel, because all three of you were identified as innovators. Really thank you. I think we're running a little bit over, but I did want to throw out one question that came in from someone on the Q&A, and that is, what are you planning for Thanksgiving? And so if you could give us the quick, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving?
Eat a turkey. Well, go ahead.
For us, normally we don't do Thanksgiving, but a friend of mine, Chef Colin, he's from the Royal Hawaiian. He's doing his own thing, and we paired with him to help each other out. And we're doing a turkey to go for Thanksgiving.
So tell us, how much is it? What's in it?
We're doing a $260 inclusive, meal for four, turkey, stuffing, Brussels sprouts, gravy, cranberry. We're doing our cookies. We make cookies now, so we do like a ulu cookie with cocoa nibs and pumpkin cream. So like a pumpkin pie, but not a pumpkin pie, something like that.
That sounds really good. Thanks. Okay. Who else has got something for Thanksgiving?
I'll let Mark go.
We were doing a traditional turkey dinner, both dine-in and turkey to go.
Nice.
At Hawai'i's and our sister restaurant, Kiora, at the Ritz-Carlton. $189. Turkey with all the fixins, feeds 5 to 6 people.
Nice.
At Hawai'i's, we're also offering, our prime rib. If you want to add that on, and you got a big
Why not?
Appetite for Thanksgiving.
Why not? I might just come for the bananas Foster again, Mark, and then
You
do
can do that.
that. Awesome. All right, Chef Roy, you got a Thanksgiving special for us?
Well, I mean, we don't do the whole turkey, but we're gonna do some. We haven't finalized it, but it's something more individual, plated, and of course, the biggest thing we do every year, and we've done for almost 30 years, is we roast a lot of turkeys and give to the homeless. So
nice.
That's extremely important for us.
Nice. That's very nice.
With gravy, stuffing, mashed potatoes, carrots, peas.
Wow. Turkey from Roy's. That's nice. Hey, guys, it's already 2:00. I know we're a little bit over. I want to thank you for your generous use, just your time today. Really want to thank you for sharing with our community. This will be recorded and shared with many more people, I'm sure, who weren't able to make it exactly at 1:00. But thank you. You guys are all innovators, pivoting your business. Such an inspiration to all of us here in Hawaii. So thank you so much, Mark, Jeremy, and Roy. You guys are terrific gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So,
thanks, Mark. Thanks, Jeremy.
with that, well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will hopefully we'll see you on November 12th. We have another panel of restaurant innovators who hopefully will also inspire you in the same way here. But thanks so much. Aloha, everybody. All right.